If you had an 11-year-old daughter who had horrible gut discomfort and was also suffering from something called alopecia, i.e. losing her hair, what would you do? I know that if that was my daughter, I would do everything in my power to help get her through this and hopefully eliminate these symptoms. And that's exactly what a patient who recently came in did for her daughter. Their journey started 3 years ago where this little girl, 8 years old at the time, was diagnosed with alopecia and just had some gut discomfort on the side. To help with these problems, prednisolone and an array of other drugs were prescribed to manage things. With a little bit of her own research and a real want to get off these strong medications, she found that perhaps gluten might be at the core of all these symptoms. A little bit of further investigation found that her husband was in fact celiac and needed to be completely taken off gluten. Her daughter was found to have the blood markers, but not yet any gut symptoms of celiac disease. So, i.e., this is probably a little bit of a red flag to say that gluten could be an issue, but is not full-blown celiac disease just yet. But as a mother would do, she took the entire family off gluten as a way of dealing with things. And lo and behold, what happened was that her daughter's symptoms significantly improved. Gut ache disappeared, active alopecia was resolved, her daughter's hair was growing back, she was feeling so much better, and they have now been following a gluten-free diet for close to 2 years. A recent visit to her doctor, and she mentioned that they were off gluten, and he suggested seeing a dietitian just to make sure that her daughter's diet was balanced. Great call, and strongly support that. However, when seeing the dietitian told the mum that all that she was doing by removing gluten from the diet was creating an incomplete diet for her daughter, and basically put the fear of God in her, even mentioning things like lack of gluten in your diet could increase your risk of developing bowel cancer. She was petrified and thought she had done the wrong thing for her daughter, but her daughter was petrified of going back onto gluten, scared that her alopecia would return and this horrible gut ache would return. This prompted a visit to me, and I was so happy to be able to tell them that a gluten-free, healthy, nutrient-dense diet is 100% possible and is probably the best way for this girl to go to reduce her risk of things like developing bowel cancer in the distant future. What this to me is all about is making sure that you are getting your hands on the best information possible for you. And if something is working for you, resolving your symptoms, making you feel better, why is it that you feel that you need to get that tick of approval from a health professional who possibly has their information from many, many years back, which is not correct and not going to be the best thing for you? Make sure that you seek sound advice that is right for you and is up there with the latest research and science available. Do what's best for you, and the outcomes will be great.